No one in the village remembered when the whispering started. At first, it was blamed on the wind. The fields stretched endlessly around the village, tall dry crops hissing when the night breeze passed through them. People said it was just air moving through dead plants. But the whispers had words. Broken words. Half-spoken sentences that stopped just before meaning. Come closer. Not yet. You're still breathing. Ion heard it on the third night after his father's burial. He lay on the thin mattress in the small mud house, staring at the ceiling where cracks looked like crawling insects in the moonlight. His mother slept in the other room, sedated by grief. That was when the sound came, not from outside, but from beneath the floor. A slow, wet breathing. He froze. The breathing stopped. Then something scratched the wood from below. Long nails, dragging carefully, as if whatever was underneath didn't want to wake the house. Ion whispered, "Who's there?" The scratching answered him. Tap, tap, tap. 3 taps. A pattern. His heart hammered so hard it hurt. He grabbed his phone, turned on the flashlight, and pointed it at the floor. Nothing. Just old wood stained dark in places he had never noticed before. Then the whisper returned. Clear now. Right below his feet. Your father didn't finish dying. Ion screamed. By morning, the village had gathered. They stood in a loose circle around him as he tried to explain. Some looked afraid. Most looked tired. An old man finally spoke. It has chosen you. What has? Ion shouted. No one answered. They avoided his eyes. That night, the village bell rang, once. That bell was only rung for one reason. When the ground opened, Ion followed the sound despite his mother begging him not to. The bell led him beyond the fields, where the crops stopped suddenly, as if refusing to grow any closer. There was a hole there, perfectly round, wide enough for a man to climb into. The earth around it was black and wet, breathing slowly like lungs. Villagers stood far back, holding lanterns, faces pale. What is this? Ion asked. The old man stepped forward. Where the village puts what won't stay dead. Before Ion could react, hands grabbed him from behind. They shoved him forward. He fell. The hole swallowed him whole. The fall didn't hurt. The ground below was soft, warm. It pulsed under his palms like living flesh. The walls weren't dirt anymore. They were covered in something smooth and pink, twitching when he touched it. The hole closed above him. Darkness. Then voices. Hundreds of them. Not speaking together. Overlapping, interrupting, crying, laughing, begging. Ion staggered forward, guided only by the sound. The tunnel opened into a massive underground chamber. His phone light flickered on, and what he saw made him vomit. People stood everywhere, or what was left of them. Their bodies were fused into the walls, half absorbed, ribs exposed, faces stretched in silent screams. Some were still alive. Their eyes followed him. Their mouths moved. Help me. I died wrong. They fed me to it. In the center of the chamber sat something enormous. It looked like a body made of bodies. Limbs twisted together, faces growing out of its skin, eyes opening and closing randomly. A mouth formed slowly at the top, wide, wet, smiling. You're late, it said in his father's voice. Ion fell to his knees. No, he whispered. The creature leaned closer. Faces shifted. His father's face emerged fully now, eyes dull, skin gray. I begged them to bury me properly, the mouth said. But the village doesn't bury. It feeds. Ion realized the truth. The village didn't fear the thing underground. They worshipped it. It kept them safe. Crops grew. Illness stayed away. In return, they gave it the ones who died badly. Angry, unfinished, unloved. And now, the thing continued. You're here to replace me. The walls began to move. Hands grabbed Ion's legs, pulling him backward. Dead mouths bit into his skin, not to tear, but to attach. His bones burned as something seeped into him. He screamed until his voice joined the others. Above ground, the village slept peacefully. The fields whispered softly. Weeks later, Ion's mother heard knocking under the floor. 3 taps. She whispered, Who's there? The floor whispered back. Your son didn't finish dying. The mirror arrived without warning. It was already hanging on the wall when Zion woke up. He was certain of that because the night before, the wall had been bare, peeling paint, a long crack running diagonally like a healed wound. Now, a tall mirror stood there, framed in black wood, its surface slightly warped as if the glass had melted and frozen again. Zion didn't remember buying it. He didn't remember anyone delivering it. For several seconds, he just stared at it from his bed, his chest tight with a strange fear that had no reason. His reflection stared back, but not exactly. The reflection blinked half a second late. Zion sat up sharply. He leaned closer. The delay vanished. Everything matched perfectly again. He laughed nervously, rubbing his face. Lack of sleep, he told himself. The apartment was old. His mind was adjusting. But as he stood, the reflection smiled before he did. It was a small thing, almost unnoticeable, but it stayed with him as he went to the bathroom, as he brushed his teeth, as he avoided looking directly at the mirror again. That night, the dreams began. He dreamed he was standing in front of the mirror, except his reflection was missing. The glass was empty, showing only the room behind him. Then a hand pressed against the mirror from the inside, fingers stretching the surface outward like soft skin. He woke up screaming. The mirror was closer to his bed now. Zion knew it had been against the wall before. He didn't touch it. He covered it with a sheet and tried to forget about it. But even covered, he felt watched. The air around the mirror was colder, heavy, as if the room didn't want to breathe near it. On the third night, the knocking started. 3 soft taps, not on the door, from inside the mirror. Zion sat up, heart pounding, staring at the covered shape. The taps came again, louder now, impatient. "Who's there?" he whispered, hating himself for asking. The sheet moved. Something pressed against it from underneath, shaping a face. His face, mouth open in a silent scream. Zion ran. He didn't stop until he reached his friend Samir's apartment across the city. He didn't explain much, only said he was afraid to go back alone. Samir laughed it off but agreed to stay the night with him. They returned together. The mirror was back against the wall, uncovered. Samir frowned. "You sure this thing wasn't here before?" "I'm sure," Zion said. Samir walked closer. "It's just a mirror, bro." The reflection smiled. Samir didn't. That was when Zion realized the reflection wasn't copying them anymore. It was watching. Samir stepped back slowly. "Okay, that's not normal." The mirror spoke, not out loud, inside their heads. "You left me alone." Samir screamed and ran for the door. It slammed shut on its own. The reflection's hand rose and pressed against the glass again. This time, the surface rippled like water. "I learned your shape," the voice said. "I learned how to breathe." The glass cracked. A hand pushed through, then an arm, then a body. It crawled out of the mirror, movements jerky, unfinished, like something still learning gravity. Its skin looked stretched too tight, eyes too wide, mouth trembling as it tried to form expressions. It looked exactly like Zion. Samir collapsed, sobbing. The thing turned its head slowly, studying him. "You don't belong," it said in Zion's voice. It grabbed Samir by the throat and dragged him back into the mirror. The glass swallowed him like liquid. His screams cut off instantly. Silence returned. The thing turned to Zion. "Your turn to rest," it said gently. Zion ran again. This time, the world outside wasn't right. People moved wrong. Reflections lagged. Glass windows showed scenes that didn't match reality. In one shop window, Zion saw himself standing still while the real him ran past. The city was filling with mirrors. Every surface reflected something that wasn't there. The thing was spreading. Zion hid in an abandoned subway station, shaking, holding his head. He covered his eyes, but it didn't matter. The voice came from everywhere now. "We were made from what you avoid seeing." The ground beneath him turned glossy, reflective. Hands reached up, faces pressed through. He screamed as the world folded inward, becoming one endless mirror. When he woke up, he was back in his apartment, in front of the mirror. Inside it, he could see his room clearly now. The thing, wearing his body, stretched, smiled, and walked away. Zion pounded the glass. No sound escaped. The mirror was warm, alive, and it was hungry. The women of the village said the forest remembered everything. No one went there after sunset. Not hunters, not lovers, not even children brave enough to chase lost cattle. The trees stood too close together, their roots breaking the soil like twisted fingers, and the air inside the forest felt heavier, older, as if it had been breathing long before humans learned how to scream. Adil returned to the village after 12 years. His father's death had pulled him back. Heart attack, sudden quiet. The house stood empty now, clay walls cracked, courtyard overgrown. His mother had died long ago. The village greeted him politely but without warmth, eyes lingering too long on his face, as if they were searching for something buried in his features. That night, as Adil lay on the charpai under the open sky, he heard anklets. Chink chink, soft, rhythmic. He sat up. The sound came from beyond the fields, from the forest. An old memory stirred. His grandmother's voice, low and serious. If you hear anklets at night, don't look back. If you smell flowers where none grow, don't breathe too deep. And if a woman calls your name from the forest, never answer. Adil told himself stories were for children. The village was poor, isolated. Fear filled the gaps where logic should be. Still, sleep did not come easily. At dawn, he found footprints near the edge of his courtyard. Bare feet, small, the toes pointed backward. He swallowed hard. The villagers whispered more openly after that. Cattle went missing. A boy vanished near the well. Crops near the forest turned black overnight, shriveled as if burned from the inside. The village imam recited prayers louder than usual. Women hung iron charms on their doors. No one mentioned the forest by name, but they all knew. She's awake, an old woman muttered as Adil passed her. On the fourth night, the smell came. Jasmine, sweet, thick, impossible. It filled Adil's lungs before he could stop himself. The anklets returned, closer now, circling the house slowly. Chink chink. Adil. The voice was soft, loving. It sounded like his mother. His heart slammed against his ribs. He stood frozen, fists clenched, sweat cold on his skin. Adil, Beta, come see me. The door creaked. He didn't remember opening it. Moonlight spilled into the courtyard. At the gate stood a woman. She was beautiful, too beautiful. Her hair was long and black, touching the ground, her skin pale and smooth, eyes dark and deep like wells. She wore a red bridal dress, old-fashioned, stained darker at the hem. Silver anklets circled her feet. Her feet were backward. She smiled. You've grown, she said. Adil slammed the door shut and fell back, gasping. He pressed his back against the wood, whispering prayers he barely remembered. Outside, laughter rang out. It was not human laughter. The next morning, claw marks covered his door. The village elder finally spoke when Adil confronted him. You should not have returned, the old man said quietly. Your blood called her. What is she? Adil demanded. The elder looked away. She was once a woman. Your village made her something else. The truth came in pieces. Years ago, a woman named Syra had lived on the forest's edge. Beautiful, unmarried, independent. Men desired her. Women feared her. When livestock began to die and children fell ill, the village needed a reason. They accused her of witchcraft. They dragged her into the forest at night, beat her, tied her to a tree, and burned her alive while she screamed that she was innocent. She cursed them as she died, and the forest listened. She became a churail, the elder said, a vengeful spirit. She lures men, drains their life, and feeds on fear. We give offerings. We obey rules. And mostly, she leaves us alone. Adil's stomach twisted. Then why me? The elder's eyes finally met his. Because your father was the one who lit the fire. That night, the forest came closer. The trees creaked as if stretching. Shadows pulled unnaturally. The anklets rang constantly now, circling the village like a predator. Adil locked himself inside, iron charms clutched in his hands. The walls began to bleed. Thin red lines seeped from the cracks, dripping slowly onto the floor. The smell of jasmine became suffocating. The mirror on the wall fogged up. A word appeared, traced by an invisible finger. "Come." The door burst open. She stood inside now, her neck bending at an impossible angle, smile too wide, eyes glowing faintly green. "You carry his blood," she whispered. "So you will carry his punishment." Her hair moved on its own, wrapping around Adil's arms, cold and wet like drowned weeds. He screamed as his feet lifted off the ground. Her face shifted. The beauty melted away. Her skin cracked and burned, revealing charred flesh beneath. One eye hung loose, jaw broken, teeth blackened. Her mouth opened impossibly wide, and inside were ashes. "Do you smell me now?" she shrieked. He felt his strength drain, his memories unraveling. Childhood laughter, his mother's face, his own name slipping away. In desperation, Adil shouted, "I'm sorry." The hair loosened. The churail tilted her head. "Sorry doesn't unburn skin," she said softly. She dragged him toward the forest. The village watched from behind locked doors. No one intervened. At the forest's edge, the trees opened like ribs. Roots rose from the ground, wrapping around Adil's legs, pulling him down. She leaned close, her burned lips brushing his ear. "Tell them," she whispered, "that I am still hungry." The ground swallowed him. By morning, only backward footprints led into the forest. Years later, travelers still speak of a beautiful woman who walks near that village at night, anklets ringing, jasmine in the air. Sometimes she looks young, sometimes burned. Sometimes, if the moon is full, she walks beside a man who looks empty, eyes hollow, footprints reversed. The forest remembers everything, and it never forgives.